Welcome to TD1 TV. I'm Kurt Hester. We're at Colorado University with Coach Blacken, and we're going to talk about incoming freshmen and what they look like, how they act when they get here. All the coaches are all excited. Alumni are excited about when they get here. But with strength coaches, it's a different story.
It's a different story, primarily because I don't recruit. I don't go in the room. I don't recruit, you know. So once they get to me, I see the kids on their recruiting visit, but when they get to me, that's when Steve and I and my staff, we get a good look at them. And the first thing that I notice is how underdeveloped they are. I remember back when I was a recruit and I knew I was going to be one, I lifted weights in high school. You know, this is in the 80s, but I got after it. And not to talk about myself, but I went into college benching 320, 325. You know, we get kids in, and I was a fullback, tailback, and that we get kids in that, you know, 275, 280 is a struggle. And so my first question is always, did you guys lift weights in high school? You know, and I know they got other things going on now, but man, I tell you what, I had to readjust my eyes. As I was telling you earlier, it was a recalibration for me because I was used to looking at rookies coming into the NFL versus freshmen coming into college, and it's a difference from position across the board. So it's the first thing we look at is, man, we got a lot of work to do. And that's why we attack it that way. But we know that coming in now, and that's what we do is we jump on it from a standpoint that you're not going to look like this 4 years from now. In fact, you won't look like this next spring when you first come in. We take pictures of everybody on the Atlanta board just so they can see the results that's going to happen within their bodies.
And, you know, coaching at LSU, we would see the charts. You know, kids 6'8", 320, or 6'4", 240, and then when they would report, that kid that was 6'8" is 6'6", yeah. And he's 280.
Exactly.
You know, do you see a lot of that?
I do see a lot of that. I see a lot of 5'10", 180, and I get them here to 5'9", 168. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what happened? Well, you know, I lost a little weight, I ran track in the spring, whatever the case may be. We can get them back to what they're supposed to be. That's the first issue. Or, you know, I'll see a kid on his recruiting visit, and we'll get to talking. And I said, what do you think your body fat is? It's probably 18%. And they get here and they're 24. So, you know, those are some things that you have to deal with and be ready for when the time comes. But like I said, when they get here in summer school, is what they usually try to do in June. We just like attack it like they've never seen a weight before, they've never run before. Even though we know they had, we just like to attack it that way because now we wipe the slate clean, we go back to the beginning, teach them proper technique on everything. Any bad habits they may have is June and July, we get them out the way. We try to wipe that slate clean and teach them the Colorado way.
When they get here, technically, I know, you know, that's the biggest nightmare for the strength staff is, you know, people think, oh, they're the best athletes in their county, in their state, and they get, you know, they're going to be, you know, warriors in the weight room. They have all this knowledge training. They've gone to facilities and trained. When you see them when they get here from that technical standpoint, how hard is it to get them acclimated into the system?
It's hard. First of all, you know, this is Boulder, Colorado. So if you get a kid that's coming in from sea level, and now you're 5,280 feet up, the altitude is the first issue. We've had some, not incidents, but we've had some kids come in and just not prepared for that. They want to run as much, or they want to do the same volume that the veterans are doing, or the older guys are doing, and we have to hold them back and explain to them why we're doing so. It takes some time to get used to this. And then they got to get used to the Colorado way of lifting. We get after it. We jump in and we get after it. Freshmen, when they come in, guess what? We will throw you right in with a group that's been here for 3 years. Now we'll cut down on your volume of work, we'll cut down on what's needed, and we'll coach you more, and you'll get more individualized attention, but you're thrown into the fire right away. And the reason we do that is because, guess what? You're going to be competing with that same guy who's a junior and senior for playing time. And that's the thing. We like our juniors and seniors and sophomores, don't get me wrong there, but it's an old saying in the NFL, and we kind of brought it here with us to Colorado, younger talent makes us better and longer. So the younger you can play, but brother, we're going to be for a long time. And that's what we do with our young guys. We try to get them going right away and to see if they compete. And you know, this is college football, this is BCS school, this is Pac-12 conference, this is a stiff competition. So all those freshmen, they won't be able to get on the field right away. But we like to tell them and try to train them in a way where they think they are. I need the most out of that kid. Whether he's just a practice squad player his first year, that's fine. But he's getting better every single day. He's out there practicing against the guys that are going to play in conference play.
What kind of advice would you give a high school coach or you know, recruits out there how to be prepared when they get here? Because I mean, they're not. No matter what they think, no matter what the coaches think, when they get here, they're never truly. You might have one, maybe two in a class that are prepared.
No,
so
no, you're never truly ready. That's why you need to be here with us. You know, all our workouts in the summertime are voluntary, but you know, we love it when everyone's here, running and lifting with their teams, because it's that team camaraderie. No one pushes you as hard as your teammates will. What I would like to tell high school coaches, though, if you're going to teach weightlifting, if you're going to teach back squats, or you're going to teach proper running techniques, make sure you research it. Make sure that you're teaching them the proper things. Make sure that they aren't doing anything that they're going to harm themselves, put their career in jeopardy. If you're going to back squat light. If you're going to front squat light. You know, we'll take care of it once we get them here, because what we see is how many guys come in with tight backs, how many guys come in with lower lumbar back problems just because they've been squatting wrong for 2.5, 3 years. And that's a shame, because you're kind of hindering a career before it really gets started. So high school coaches, just take care of your guys and just know that they're 17, they're 18 years old. You know, they don't need to be lifting the weight the 22-year-old guys are lifting at that particular time. We'll teach them proper technique and stuff once we get here, or once they get to this school. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we get a healthy athlete. You don't want to hurt a kid who's worked his, you know, pretty much his whole high school career to get that scholarship, to get that opportunity to play for a Division I or Division II school. You don't want to hurt that or hinder that. It's going to be hard enough as it is. You don't want a kid coming in with an injury.
Well, that concludes our first TD1 interview in a very special place with a very special coach.